Hey, it's Aaron, and today we're doing our interior walkthrough in a 2022 Honda Passport. This is the new TrailSport edition, which replaces a couple of options. There are only three trim packages for the Passport this year. This is the middle one, so this is the middle level tier. Most of the changes for this are to make it look more off-road friendly. They don't necessarily add more equipment to make that a reality, but they do give it a much more robust and kind of tougher look. So worth looking at. I did a walk around out exterior review of this, and I'll just refer to that for most of those changes, because in the car here you won't really see much. One or two things that indicate it's a TrailSport. Otherwise, the package is just the added amenities for this vehicle, not really anything worth pointing out otherwise. So let's just get started. We'll go to the usual place, starting at the door, and we'll just walk around the vehicle from the driver's perspective. Over here, looking at windows, right? So rear windows, front windows. These are both automatics on the front, not on the rear. Over here you have door locks. Right here you have the window locks. Then you have the door handle and a manual door lock. And then seat settings for the driver. Now, it's important that you set these. And the reason I say that is because I realized after the first day that every time I shut the vehicle off and then turned it back on, things were moving back to whatever the seat setting was, even though none of these were lit up and on. And so I finally just had to set this to meet me so that the mirrors and stuff wouldn't change. So just kind of an important note. Down here you can see some release buttons. So this releases the fuel port, this releases the hatch, and then of course down there, that is for the hood. Coming up here, you can see there's your parking radars, here's your collision control, squirrely button, lane keeping, and the big antenna looking thing that I can never remember the name of this thing. I can never remember the name of it. But anyway, there's that right there. Runs, important stuff with your defrost stuff or something. Up here is your mirror controls. So back and forth right here, move the mirror around, fold them in right there. And an economy button. This is kind of a Honda staple. Push this, makes the car really, really boring and get you better fuel economy as a result. So important to know those things, right? You got to know what that is. Steering wheel. Whoa, zoom, power zoom. All right. I'm not actually zooming. I'm literally just moving this back and forth. But, it looks cool. Wah, wah, wah. Self-entertaining. That's me. All right. Over here, you can see you've got your tracks and stuff. Selections up here. Volume is right there. Back button right there. Home button right there. Basically, these are controlling your infotainment over there. Then you got telematics. Here's your telephones right there. And voice control, which is okay. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not terrible. So, it's okay. It's still the old prompt respond thing. But it's a little quicker because the menus are a little more simplified. Over here, you have cruise control. So you can see distance setting is right here. Set and resume right here. So resume up, set and down, and then you can go up and down after it's set. Cancels in the middle. You turn it on right here. So this turns on cruise control, activates it. And here is your lane keeping. So use this to, if you want to get buzzed at for leaving the lane or try to stay in the middle of it, whatever. Paddle shifters, right? And then right here you have your washer wiper controls. So this controls the speed, how aggressive it is. Up and down right here to turn it on and off, right? So you go up to just do a one-off and down to get the different speeds. Over here, this controls the rear one. So you just twist it to run that rear wiper. Over here, you got the signal control, signal turn, because that's the order you use it in, signal turn. You can see it's on off. You can turn it up to auto right there. That's where it's normally been. And then right here, this is your fog lamps. And then back and forth, pull it towards you, push it away. That gives you your brights. So there you go. Now, instrument cluster. I just started this, so it's still pretty cold. But over here is your water heat for engine coolant. Over here is your fuel level. This is extremely fuel efficient. It's really amazingly good. I know this says otherwise, but that's because I did a little bit of off-road in this. I've been driving around town a lot. So that's indicative of maybe somebody's average, maybe. But even then, I'd say not really. It's really, really city heavy. But I did do my highway loop in this, and the highway loop showed me that this got just about on par with the EPA's paperwork. So I was pretty surprised because this is not a turbo engine. I don't think it's a turbo engine. Now I got to look that up because I can't remember. There's too many details, but I don't think it is. So over here, you got a tachometer across the top. Your big speed is right there. That's the gear you're in. And then there's the outside temperature. There's the odometer, et cetera, et cetera. So pretty simple, but also a really good cluster layout. I really like this. It's simple, fast, easy to understand. Doesn't take any sort of learning curve. Hi, other camera. Down here, you got your start button, push start, push to stop. Now, infotainment. Infotainment in this is good. So it's not terribly powerful. It doesn't do a whole pile of things. You can't talk to it or any of that stuff, but it's very quick. When I want to see something, it just happens. So let's say I want to go to the settings screen. Boom, it just comes up. There's no wait, there's no anything. Everything is pretty simple layout, which on the road is not great, but most of the time you're using this, it is good. You have a back button that never goes away. You have a home button that never goes away. Home looks like this, by the way. And then you can dim the screen and change it, right? So pretty easy to use, fairly good screen. Up here you got some quick buttons that go away. These actually change according to what you have set up. So if I have the radio running, now I can change what I want to do with as far as my audio source. If I have this on, it would just go there, and then I can go, wait a minute, and then I can change it back for audio source, right? So, ooh, good song. Anyway, can't leave that in or I'll get blocked. It's dumb. So anyway, quick access up here. This tells you, this is kind of like a status bar, I think is the best way to put it. And then you have more you can do, right? So I can do like some trip computer, look for system updates. Looks like there might be some. Honda Music, which is dumb. Oh, I guess not. It's just the symbol for it. So you can pull, that's not what I wanted. Okay, thank you. So, just to give you an idea of what there is. There you go. Yeah, or you can go to the all apps screen and just see everything on one screen as a list, which is not as useful. Down here is your climate control. So I've turned them off, but I'll turn it back on just so you can see it. So you can see this is dual zone, tri-zone actually. So you can set it, turn that on and off, whatever, and then you can control temperatures here. If you want to control the rear, you use this settings, and then this turns it on and off. Over here is your defrost buttons required by law, and then you saw me turn it off right here. Auto just turns everything on and turns it to automatic. So pretty simple and easy to understand system. Bun warmers right here and right there, and then this storage cubby is basically useless. It's the size of a phone. You could put a phone in there, but your phone is going to come straight out because this is just hard plastic. And it doesn't even sit flat on it because there's this little divider. So I don't know what that's useful for, but you know, cool. Your phone should actually just be right here because this is rubberized. It is also a wireless charger. You have a USB A right there. You have 12 volt under there. And then that's it. Now, this being a Honda, push buttons. So you pull this down to go into reverse. Park is right there, neutral is right there, drive is right there, and then you can see the terrain control right here. You only have a couple of them. You have normal, snow, mud, and sand. I used the sand mode because I did off-road a little bit just because I had to. You know, you I mean, they give me a vehicle with all-terrain tires, I'm gonna take it all-terrain. That's how it is. This turns off the engine start stop. It does not remember that setting, so you have to turn it off every single time you start the vehicle, if you're one of those people that doesn't like engine stop start. Drink holders right there. And then this big cover, which is a good place to just set some things, you know, like a purse or a fanny pack or whatever. You can just set it right here. It's great. But you can open this up, and there's this giant storage bin with another USB and another 12 volt inside. So useful down here. It's big. This thing's huge. So there you go. And then there we go. And then in the back, this is tri-zone, so there are some climate controls back there. They're almost exactly like, it's a small version of this, basically. And then just the seating. Really good seats. I love that they have these because they're fully adjustable, right? So you can put them up and down where you like to feel them. And then the seats just look good. You see this TrailSport badge, and then these orange highlights throughout. TrailSport on the mud things. the floor mats, the rubber floor mats. And then you can see this I don't like. It's all rubber, rubberized plastic, hard down here, softer up here. I will say this is a fairly loud vehicle on the road. Not really loud. It's not horrible, but it's not great either. It is pretty loud. But I will also point out that the 7-speaker audio that this package comes with by default with subwoofer is awesome. So they got a great sound system to cover up the fact that they have a lot of road sound coming in. Some of that road sound is the tires. If you decide you don't really want all-terrain tires on this, and you get something like a touring all-weather tire instead, that will dampen that road noise a lot. Yeah, for sure. Back seats. Let's look at the back seats. Back seats are humongous. Tons of room back there. I am amazed. You'll see more of that in the walk-around vehicle. I sit back there and talk about that more. Cargo space is also really good. I am surprised at how good the cargo space in this is. The vehicle doesn't look big enough to have that much cargo. So, beautiful job back there. Yeah. And then there's this cool little bin where you open it up and there's a bin that you can drop things into, so your groceries aren't rolling around back there if you only got like 3 or 4 bags or something. Really cool. So good job on this all the way around. The Passport is a fairly new entry. It's only, what is it, about 5 or 6 years old at this point in its first generation. And it hit the mark really, really well when it first came through, and has stayed in a beloved spot, like a favorite spot since then. Kind of competing with, say, Toyota RAV4 and who else would there be? Probably like Jeep Cherokee, vehicles like that. So really well done. Really, really impressed, and I really like this package. Even though it doesn't actually add any off-road functionality, it adds a lot of nice amenities on the interior. It's a good mid-level point, and it looks good. Well, you've seen pictures. I've already shown them. So yeah, pretty good job from Honda on this. So that's it. That's what I got. This is a 2022 Honda Passport TrailSport. This has been Aaron. Talk to you again soon. Subscribe.